Hey guys, it's LaZyboy Marksman here, and I had told you previously when I put up the Rage video that I had also bought Dark Souls, and I actually didn't even unpack it, well, take it out of the package and whatnot until yesterday evening. So I was pretty sick, I had a fever, and I was like, you know what, I might as well just sit back and play something that doesn't really require a great deal of my hand and eye coordination. So I fired in Dark Souls. Pretty much jumped in the create a character. Generally when I play a fantasy game, I usually just go to my go-to hero of heroes and make a Conan. However, I think upon recent events of weird looking character models, next time I'll go for something a little less Conan, because you'll see as I'm cycling through these faces, there's just one really bad, like, derp face. I'm not gonna mention the color of the skin or anything, but it's pretty bad, and it's already passed, so just watch for it. So the creative character is pretty robust. It's not amazing or anything. It's I'd say it's on par to like one of the earlier Smackdowns, really, where you can go in and tweak a little bit of the head and you have pretty shitty looking hair, but in the end it's pretty much irrelevant what your actual character model looks like. It's pretty much just like a doll for you to throw armor and cool looking shit on. So I was going to actually make a longer segment, but I actually only played the game for like a half hour, and I just cut out like 10 minutes of the useless crap and chunked it up so I could speed through it here. But beyond what I'm going to show here, from my experience, I played like several hours worth of the game, and I gotta say, this game really has no mercy. It really doesn't care how good you are or how tenacious you are. This game is going to kill you, and they're not joking. You're going to die, and you're going to die a ridiculous amount of times. Like, I've probably lost around 10,000 souls. That's not saying I suck. That's just saying I get into some horribly awkward situations and I don't get a good input on the paddle, or I'm going to accidentally hit the button too many times, where you like double roll into, let's say, archers that are shooting fucking arrows that do an absurd amount of damage, or some guy stabs you in the back and almost kills you instantly. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. In the game you can do parries and you can do ripostes and stuff like that. However, I ran into an enemy that can actually do it, and he one-shot at me, which kind of made me sad on the inside. I didn't know they could do that, and that was when I shut the game off last night. I had about as much as I could take. I'm probably actually going to turn it on again in a little bit to start trying to collect my souls and ring these bells in said starting area. Like, I'm not even at the tip of the iceberg in this game, and I've already had my shit pushed in. I fell off things to my death. I've been stabbed with a sword. I've been killed with a spear. I've been killed with fire bombs, arrows, crossbow bolts. Creepy little freaky guys with single-handed swords. A really large black knight with a big-ass sword, he killed me too. And a really big black knight with a really big mace, he killed me. A demon killed me. A Taurus demon kicked the shit out of me. And what else? A boar creature came at me, and I was like, come at me, bro, come at me. And I circled around it and stabbed it in the back. That demon did not kill me. I killed him, which was a moment where I was actually pretty stoked. I fist pumped and everything, because this is one of those games that, you know, you have a real feel of accomplishment for every little step you manage to take forward and not die. And that's what hurts the most, is when you get further ahead and you've plowed on and you've had a good sense of, you know, accomplishment, and then they just punch you in the face again and make you start from wherever you were at last, which sometimes can be a gratuitous distance. So starting over and working your way back can sometimes be very, very difficult. On top of that, you lose your souls and you leave a spot on the ground you have to go touch. So sometimes getting back doesn't actually happen. You die again in the process, and in doing so, you've lost the souls that you were trying to go back and get. So you start from scratch. You fucking try to beat people down, get your souls back. I haven't really gotten my magic spells yet. I bought one, but I don't have the slots for it. I picked up heal off the monk, cleric, whatever he is at the starting point after you get out of the initial starting area. They drop you off into like this weird spot with some dude sitting on a rock and a bonfire, and you can speak to this monk, cleric, whatever, priest. He's up behind some vegetation, and it's like an old broken down ruin. And he'll be like, hey, I don't want you around me because you're dead. And you'll be like, what? Just because I'm dead doesn't mean I'm an asshole. And he's like, alright, here's a coin. And I'm just like, what? Did you just give me like a fucking quarter and tell me to call someone who cares? So I spam him some more, talking to him, and he's like, hey, I can teach you a couple miracles. And I'm like, sweet. What are you, Jesus? Can you walk on water? Can you make me some wine? You know, I like where this is going. However, then you realize you have to pay for this stuff with souls, and you see the absurd cost. We're talking like, what was it, 4,000 souls to get the heal spell? I mean, 4,000 souls is a lot of souls, man. You want to see the shit you can buy with 4,000 souls. And the game story, I have to admit, I really, I'm not saying it's bad, but I didn't fucking follow it at all. Like, I really have no idea what the fuck's going on, to be honest. I just like the whole entire, you know, go do your own thing. Your combat, more or less, is in your hands. It's pretty much got the input and precision of a fighting game in a third person. Like, every single thing you encounter has a disposition and a pattern, just like you see in any fighting game. And you yourself have access to a limited amount of moves, and you have movement, which you can actually outmaneuver your foe. And they reward you with that. If you get behind them, you can do like a humongous damage stab, generally killing them instantly. Which I generally am not very good at, because I'm just terrible at circling. However, I'm very good at the parry and riposte. Or riposte. Woohoo! I don't know how to say it correctly. That's probably riposte. Or whatever, rip off, who cares. But, the parry is considerably difficult, because if you screw your parry up, you get drilled for full damage. And it's not very fun, because sometimes these guys are going to throw multiple blows. If you screw that first one, you're pretty much looking at death, or you got to run away and try to heal yourself. And by the way, these guys aren't dumb. They will actually chase you. And generally, they will chase you with like a lunging attack. So if you even stop for a moment, they'll be like doing a huge thrust or come in with 3 or 4 swings. Like, you really have to be cautious of your surroundings and what you've done in this game, in the sense that what's around you, what have you killed, what haven't you killed, have you reset the enemies again by going to a bonfire and or dying. And for healing, like, it takes a few seconds to actually finish the healing. So for anyone that's going to try in this game, be sure you're in the save area before you even attempt to try to heal, because you're probably going to get cracked while you're healing, and it pretty much negates the heal altogether and leaves you where you were just at a couple seconds ago. So my tips for you in this game would be to go to the bonfire, use it, and then move forward. Always check your equipment out, because it actually degrades and breaks. And the reason I'm saying this is, don't rely on one weapon too heavily. My shield hasn't broke yet, but I've had to chew through a couple right-handed weapons. Like I broke, well, I didn't break it, but I put it in there hurting. A spear, a sword. Well, by a sword I mean a long sword. I've mangled a short sword. Just got a claymore, and I pretty much got that broke. Morningstar, I got that pretty much beaten down. And I mean, I played this, as I said, for several hours, and I didn't really get far. It was basically just getting souls, leveling up here and there, getting my head beat in, and I was pretty much just trying to get a feel for the game. And now that I consider myself schooled in the art of getting my face kicked in while I'm not expecting it, I got a hang for it. And by the way, you can't kill that demon that's on the screen right now with that half-ass sword. It's not gonna happen. Basically, I learned about, you know, running away from this thing via someone writing a little message on the ground, which is the online component of this game where you can actually leave messages for other players, which is pretty cool, actually. Like, if you want to be a real asshole, you could basically write a message by a ledge that says, "Secret, jump!" And there's nothing there. They just jump to their death. Or when you actually do find a secret, you can tag it. Or if you walk into like an ambush of 4 enemies and get killed, when you come back later, you could be kind enough to write a message and be like, "Be wary, enemies ahead," which, you know, is the polite thing to do. However, people don't. You'll basically see "I can't take it anymore" or "Praise the sun" all over the place. Like, I really don't understand why people just post that. Oh, by the way, that's the death system. You see me get my body back? All my souls? Yeah. And this is me getting my ass kicked by that demon again. So. And, oh, yeah, that's it. That's, oh, wait, I figured it out. Oh, yep, there we go. So. Another bonfire. It's great. You actually come back and kill this demon by the end of this. I don't know if I actually have it in the footage or not. I basically just crunched a half hour into 15 minutes so I could talk about this game. And when it comes to actually acquiring items, I found a Morning Star. I found some shields. Let me see. I got to the merchant, which is actually hiding. You have to break through, like, you have to fight 2 guys with spears. And then you break through, like, some wood crap, and you go downstairs and you find him. He's creepy as is, like, he actually sounds like one of the guys from the Mighty Boosh. But, he, once again, wants souls, and he offers pretty robust weapon selection. Armor-wise, he only offered me chain armor. I didn't get it. And I did invest in some weapons from him, and I invested in repair dust. I'm hoping that today when I go back and play, I build up enough souls to get a repair box so I can maintain my armor and my weapons and whatnot. I'm not sure how long that's going to last. I probably should check some forums and see if it's actually worth investing in. However, I'd rather stay away from the forums because when you read them, you're going to find out, like, exploitations of enemy AI, placement, etc. So I'd rather keep this game clean and without that kind of shit going on. And you're going to see me go into my, whoa, complete brain fart there. You'll see me go into my start menu quite a bit because I don't like the button setup for this game. It's basically all done with trigger and shoulder buttons, and that kind of weirds me out because I'm used to, you know, mashing buttons with my thumb. So if you can't handle that, or you get frustrated easily in games, don't even bother getting this. I mean, I'm a guy that can pretty much play anything. Like, I gave Viva Pinata a chance, and I found that to be an actual, really complex and deep game, aside from just beating pinatas with a shovel, which I admittedly spent a great deal of time doing. However, that said, this game is... anyone can try it and progress, but if you really can't handle being frustrated or, you know, having to grind your way back to things, this is not a game for you. This game has no mercy. It's as bad as, like, it's like SNES games, you know what I mean? You didn't, like, before they actually started utilizing a save feature, they more or less just left you for your own, and if you got, oh, I got steamrolled there. But, I have to say, nothing you encounter in this game is impossible. Everything is balanced. There's nothing, like, ridiculous. You can kill it if you are good enough. And that said, it's literally, if you can figure out how an enemy works, by the way, that's the gesture system. You can, like, wave to people's ghosts and shit. But if you figure out how an enemy works and you're very good at yourself, like your own maneuvers, weapons, etc., you can kill it. However, that said, things you encounter that basically, if it looks really jacked up and decked out and better gear than you, generally means to stay the fuck away from it because it is going to slaughter you. That being said, I don't mean like slaughter you in the sense that, hey, you can go toe-to-toe with it. You probably can for a few minutes, but when it hits you, it's probably going to cut your health in half and kill you almost instantly. Because I don't know if this game's enemies scale by level, or is it just